All right, let's talk college football. Because after week 4, the entire college football playoff picture has been completely flipped on its head. I mean, it is almost unrecognizable. Preseason favorites? They're on the ropes. We've got dark horses making a serious run, and the path to a national championship has been totally rerouted. So today, we're going to break down all the chaos and project what this brand new 12-team playoff looks like right now.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to start with just how nuts Week 4 was. Then we'll look at the big-name teams whose hopes are already fading. After that, we'll get to the fun part, the surprise contenders. Then we'll rank the best of the best, preview the huge games coming up, and wrap it all up with what the 12-team bracket would actually look like if the season ended today.
So let's just start there, with the absolute chaos of Week 4. You know, before this past weekend, the playoff picture felt like it was starting to take shape. But after a few stunning upsets, that picture has been torn up and thrown out the window. The race has been completely rewritten.
And that really brings us to the central question on everyone's mind, right? With so many of the teams we expected to be great stumbling, a whole new set of contenders has emerged from the smoke, forcing all of us to rethink everything we thought we knew about who's going to be playing for a title.
First up, let's talk about the giants who've already fallen. We're talking about teams that came into the season with legit championship dreams that have pretty much evaporated before we've even hit October.
And you just have to start with the Clemson Tigers. I mean, wow. This has been a perennial contender, a dominant force for the last decade, and they have stumbled to a shocking 1-3 record that effectively ends any realistic chance they had at making the playoff.
And the fallout has been pretty intense, especially for Coach Dabo Swinney. After he defiantly predicted a perfect 16-0 season, he is now facing some serious heat, as his team has, as one analyst put it, completely evaporated from national significance.
Now, Clemson isn't the only blue blood in trouble. After losing to both Miami and Texas A&M, Notre Dame has been dropped from pretty much every playoff projection out there. With 2 losses this early in the season, their path to that 12-team field is now almost completely blocked off.
But here's the thing. As some giants fall, new contenders are rising up to take their place. And this, right here, is the new reality of the expanded playoff. One big win can change literally everything for a program.
I mean, just look at Texas Tech. They're on the road against a really tough Utah team. It's a total dogfight. Then their starting quarterback gets hurt. But in comes the backup, Will Hammond, who leads this unbelievable 24-7 scoring explosion in the fourth quarter to seal a massive, massive upset.
And that one single win completely changes the entire trajectory for Texas Tech. Analysts are now looking at their remaining schedule, which has 0 ranked teams on it, and they're calling it a potential yellow brick road to a Big 12 title and a playoff spot.
And they weren't the only ones. The Indiana Hoosiers put the entire nation on notice by absolutely dismantling a top 10 Illinois team. Their quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, he just continued his hot streak, and the offense put up 63 points in a win that forced everybody to take them seriously as a Big 10 contender.
Okay, so now let's look at the top tier. With the field so wide open, the debate over who really belongs in that top 4 and who deserves a first-round bye is really starting to heat up.
Right now, the biggest debate is for that #1 spot. Do you go with Miami, who has arguably the best resume in the entire country with 3 really good wins? Or do you pick Ohio State, a team that is just loaded with top-tier talent and has been absolutely dominant in the Big Ten under Ryan Day? It's really a classic battle of results versus potential. Meanwhile, the 2-time defending champs, the Georgia Bulldogs, are just quietly navigating a total minefield. They survived a huge test on the road, coming from behind to beat Tennessee in overtime. And now they've got a massive game against Alabama that could pretty much punch their ticket to the playoff.
And you absolutely cannot forget about Florida State. Their offense is putting up points at a ridiculous, historic pace. Their defense is passing the eye test with flying colors, and their strength of record is already ranked 3rd in the whole country. They look every bit the part of a team that can snag a first-round bye.
So all this movement at the top of the rankings is setting the stage for some monumental clashes in the next few weeks. Games that are basically going to be playoff elimination rounds. And these huge games are right around the corner. First, you've got Oregon visiting Penn State to decide who the top challenger to Ohio State really is. Then this Saturday, Georgia hosts Alabama in a massive SEC showdown. And on October 4th, we could get a top 5 matchup between Miami and Florida State to decide who runs the ACC.
You know, that ACC collision course is especially interesting. For the first time since 2016,
Miami and Florida State are going to meet when both of them are legit, highly ranked powerhouses. It is a true good-on-good battle that will probably decide the conference's top seed.
So, after all that chaos, after all that shuffling, what would the 12-team playoff bracket actually look like if the season ended today? Let's take a look.
All right, first up, the 4 teams earning that crucial first-round bye would be Miami, Ohio State, Georgia, and Florida State. Following them, the next 4 seeds, we're talking LSU, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and Oregon. They would be rewarded with hosting a playoff game on their home campus. How cool is that? And these matchups, this is what shows you just how exciting the new format is. We get Memphis traveling to Death Valley to face LSU, an all-Texas showdown between Texas Tech and A&M, a brutal game between Tennessee and Oklahoma, and a heavyweight fight with Penn State visiting Oregon. These are just incredible games, all happening on college campuses.
And when you break down this projected field by conference, one thing becomes crystal clear: the sheer dominance of the SEC. With 4 teams in the top 12, they have the strongest representation by far, followed by the Big Ten with 3, and then the ACC and Big 12 with 2 teams each.
Of course, this whole projection, it's written in pencil, not pen. The bracket is incredibly fluid, and you just know it's going to get shaken up again and again. So that leads us to our final question. Looking at this field of 12 and all the tough games ahead, which team is standing on the shakiest ground? Whose spot in the playoff might just be gone before we know it?